So one of these years, we are going to come up with a solution, permanent solution to our blueberry beds. We have one row of 14 or 15 blueberry plants. We came along in the spring and we put all new cardboard down and we put wood chips down, and it's absolutely beautiful until midsummer or so. And you can only get so close with your lawnmower before you start sucking up wood chips. So at some point I want to build, oh man, I think I got, some of these are milkweeds. I think I just got all that sticky white milkweed stuff all over me. Some year we want to come up with a solution of having some kind of a border around all of this, whether it be logs of some sort or wood or something that you can mow right up against to try to keep this weed pressure down. It is getting very, very close to blueberry harvest time. 2, maybe 3 weeks, and they're going to be ready. I'll show you here in a minute how they're looking. So I think last year when I did this, I used my flame weeder, and while it seemed at the time like it was working pretty well, you kind of fight fire the whole time in that, like the wood chips, no matter, in order to do it right, you almost have to burn your wood chips. And so they're like catching on fire and you're trying to put them out. And so this year I decided to go back to the old school way of doing things by hand. And just been cruising along. I'm already maybe 20-30% done at that side, and this side all kind of done. Just using a rice knife. I picked this up on Amazon, maybe $10 or something. And I don't even think whatever brand I bought is even still available. But they work really well for stuff like this when if you can grab a hold of something and then come through and cut it, like those big bundles of grass like this. It just slices right through that stuff. But it will also slice right through your hand, so be very careful using it. I think the first year I used one of these, I think I cut myself 3 times, 4 times. And I think so far this year I've only cut myself once. So you do get better at it of keeping the angle away from your hand, kind of like this type motion instead of like this. So there's definitely a little bit of a learning curve to it, but they are nice tools. I think it's about 5:30 or so. Just finished up work for a little while ago, and I went out and I messed around with our boat for a little bit. It has some issues, I think, like we mentioned in the video that we did about the boat, where it won't go into reverse. And when you start it, it kind of needs to be in gear and not in neutral, which is not good. It's not really safe. So I talked to a guy yesterday when I got off work. I went down, I don't know, half an hour south of where we live, and I bought another fuel tank from a guy. He had it listed for sale on Facebook. And it's one of his hobbies is he takes old style boats like this and he rebuilds them like completely from scratch. So they're like brand new when he's done with them. So he gave me some tips on what to check as far as both things, the lack of reverse and the neutral starting. So I fidgeted around with that for a little while. Rachel finished up work for the day, and she came downstairs and grabbed my keys and left. She has a long overdue appointment tonight with her girlfriends. There's her and a group of 4, 5, 6 other girls who were friends in high school, and they're still friends to this day. And a couple times every year they get together and they go out and have dinner. They try to plan at least one trip together every year as a group, and they usually go. So one of the girls has a cabin up in northern Michigan, or even one year they went to our cabin. So I think it's been, since like before pandemic times, when was like the last time they actually all got together. So they are all going out to dinner tonight. Ones are so tall they're hitting the microphone. Sorry. I don't expect her really home too late. A lot of her friends have little kids still, whereas you have me and Rachel, all of our kids are all grown up, so it's harder for some of her friends to get out than it is for us. And yeah, I said I was going to show you the blueberries. This bush is absolutely loaded. Loaded. The one like 3 or 4 bushes down has almost just as many, but they're a little bit bigger, and they're almost starting to get a little hint of blue or purple to them. But these are 3 different varieties, I think, when Rachel bought them. 3 different varieties of blueberries, and we have no clue what kind they were or which ones are which. But our mulberries are coming in great right now, so timing should be perfect. The mulberries should be absolutely ready and loaded as well at the exact same time that the blueberries are this year. So the birds should hopefully leave our blueberries alone and leave them to us. Not too often you get a full dandelion to come out. I was trying to think of when I was getting ready to come out here saying goodbye to Rachel, I was trying to come up with this kind of terrible lighting. I'll move you guys in a second. I was trying to come up with some kind of story to tell you guys. And it seems like I don't know. I have like story after story after story of things that have happened in my childhood and in my life to share with people. And I always, when it comes like, okay, tell me a story about something, I can never think of anything good. But like, the out of the blue conversation with somebody is usually when those stories pop into my head. But somebody did ask the other day about our marriage and our wedding, and they wanted to see pictures or something from our wedding. I don't remember if it was on YouTube or if it was a post on Facebook. Yeah, I can probably share a couple pictures with you guys here and tell you a little bit about our wedding and how it went. And then I need to make sure I want to show you guys those little pine trees too before we go today. The ones that we brought home from our cabin. They are doing amazing. So 2009 is when we got married. And when we look back at pictures, our kids are so little still. And it's absolutely crazy how fast time just flies by. And there's nothing to remind you better of that than getting out your old pictures and looking through them. But our daughter, Abigail, basically from like the time she was pretty much a wee kid, took dance classes. And as she got older, it was probably competitive dance from the point when she was like really tiny, all the way up until she graduated high school. She did competitive dance, and every year they would have what they would call their national dance competition of the year, and it would kind of move around from different places. Sometimes it would be like local here, Chicago, down in Ohio, I think. Well, this one particular year in 2009, her dance competition was going to be in Florida. And we thought, well, and a lot of times we would plan our family vacations around that dance competition. Like the whole family, we would go to the place where the dance competition was, and we would make a vacation out of it. And I would hang out with the boys. Abigail and her mom would go off to dance. So we ended up doing that year that we got married in 2009 for her Florida dance competition. We all went down there. We had a minister lined up to do the ceremony for us. All of our kids were there. And we went down to the beach and we got married. But the funny story about it was that it was a cloudy day. I remember it was a cloudy day because the photographer was happy that it wasn't going to be a super sunny, so it makes for better pictures when you have overcast days. But something about that overcast day and the beach that we were at was absolutely infested with sand fleas. And we didn't really notice it too much like for the ceremony when we actually got married. But afterwards, they were like, okay, come over here and sit by this little grass pile and let me take your picture. Well, we sat down next to that grass pile and them sand fleas got on us and they started biting us everywhere. And it's, okay, come over here, let's take another picture. Okay, mom and dad, you get in the picture. And okay, now all the kids, and then just these kids. And it went on and on. You know how wedding photos can be. Well, it did not take us long before, and I don't know how many bites we had all over us, but maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes worth of pictures. We told the photographer guy, we're like, I don't care how much money we paid you for how many photos, we are done. We are not taking any more photos. We're not getting bit up by these things anymore. Then you can't see them. They're like practically invisible. And you sit down in the sand, you walk by some grass, they just jump on you and bite. There's a couple that I'm leaving. I'm leaving this little cluster here and this one back there because they are milkweeds, and we'll always get monarch butterflies come around here a lot. So I try to leave at least some of them for the butterflies. But yeah, that's kind of the story of our wedding. Rachel was absolutely beautiful, as you can see in the photos. Still to this day, I'm a lucky, lucky man. Geez, almost 6:30. I need to go in and get some food, but that project is done. That went way faster than I thought it was gonna. Maybe because I was like talking the whole time. I'm telling you guys stories and stuff. But I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna get some bite to eat, and then I will come back out here and get you guys off this post. And we'll go over to the other side of our property where I got a splinter or something in my finger. We'll go over to those little pine trees and I'll show you how they're doing. They're doing great. Ham and cheese sandwich on a hamburger bun. Hamburger bun had butter, garlic powder, and I put it in the oven under the broiler. Got it nice and toasted garlic bread. Put my grilled ham and cheese on that, and that was my dinner. Before we head over to the little pine tree area, which is right back that way, a couple hundred feet, one of our channel affiliates reached out to us this month and asked if we wanted to participate in their sale for this month. And it's been a couple of months since we've done this, and they had a couple of brand new products that I wanted to try out. They sounded cool, so we said yes. So OLIGHT sent us a couple of new flashlights that they just came out with this month. They have a sale that's running. It actually started yesterday at 8 p.m. Still going today, the day that this video came out. The start date times and end date times will be down in the description, along with our affiliate link and our coupon code, and all the information about this stuff will be down in the description if you want to check it out. The first product that they came out with this month is the Olantern Mini. Now they make a bigger version of this, and I actually have that bigger version. I bought it myself. They didn't send it to me. I wanted to try it, so I just bought it. And it's pretty cool, but this little one, much tinier, but it seems to have just as good of a battery. 3 different brightness settings, like a low, medium, and high. And I think on the low setting, this thing will run for like 48 hours. So it's got a lot of runtime to it. Super tiny, portable, magnetically charges just like most OLIGHT flashlights. Pretty cool. And the coolest one for this month, the one I was the most excited about, my favorite OLIGHT is the Warrior X Pro. They make a Warrior Mini as well, which I've never even tried. But they came out with a new version of the Mini this month. It's the Warrior Mini version 2. This is what it looks like. It's got a tail switch and a side switch. The little clip can be flipped both directions, so it can act like this in your pocket, or you can flip it around and you can clip it on your hat if you need to. 1750 lumens, I want to say, if I remember that fact right. Don't quote me on that. However, I'm going from memory here. Max throw distance wise, like 200 meters. I've been playing around with it at night. Last couple nights when I go out to close up the chickens and stuff, and don't let its size fool you. This thing is pretty darn bright, especially when you kick it up into its turbo mode. But what makes this one different than all the rest, and probably different than most, I'm not sure I've seen another flashlight manufacturer do what they've done here, in that in the front right there in the little tip, there's a proximity sensor built in right there. And if you've ever used, whether it be an OLIGHT, Surefire, just about any really, really bright, powerful light gets really, really hot. Rachel actually, like, there's one that I have, she calls it the hand warmer because it gets so warm. In fact, one time I was fishing and I had that Warrior X Pro, the bigger version of this, up at the cabin. It was getting dark. My line wrapped kind of around the tip of my fishing pole. And if you're a fisher person, you know that's a pain in the butt. So I had to get out my light, got it all untangled, and I kind of just dropped it on the ground. And I went back to casting, I think like 2 casts. And I looked down on the ground and I saw smoke. It had landed right next to my backpack and was starting to burn a hole in my backpack. It got so hot. So, crisis averted, turned off the light, brushed off my backpack. It was fine. It didn't have a hole in it or anything, but got a little charred. This proximity sensor that's built into the tip here will actually, see if I can get it to do it here. When you get within about 6 to 8 inches, see, it just did it. It automatically will dim down to the lowest setting, to the point where you can't burn yourself anymore. So if it's in your pocket, in your purse, in your backpack, wherever it is that you carry it, if it accidentally turns on, that proximity sensor is going to auto detect and auto dim the flashlight down for you. So it's a pretty cool little feature. I've never seen another vendor that I know of that's done this, so thought it was cool. Thought you guys might think it was cool too. Again, our link, all the details about the sale will be down in the description if you want to check it out. And we appreciate you guys. Go see them pine trees? Come on. So, here's one of them here. This is the one we brought back that has like the three leader branches on it. It kind of forks up. This is all new growth right here. Basically, the tip of every branch has anywhere between 3 to 5 inches of new growth on it. So they're doing absolutely amazing. There's another one right back there, over there. We have a total of 5 of these now that we've brought home. And the 3 that we brought back the last time we were at the cabin are all doing great. Same with the 2 that we brought home the first time. So they're doing awesome. I want to bring home more. And I think maybe I'll Maybe I won't push my luck after all and just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. These seem to be a pretty darn good size. If you stay about 2 feet or so, seems to be working out well. We ended up putting a good, probably 6 to 8 inches of wood chips around the bottom. The soil, we mixed about 1/4 peat moss with 3/4 of native soil and kind of mixed it all in together. Dumped a 5-gallon bucket of water on top, wood chips, and that's all we've done to them. I have not watered them since. And we planted these ones, what, 3 weeks ago, I think? Thanks for coming along today. If you enjoyed my little stories about the sand fleas at our wedding. See you guys on the next video.